From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
Last weekend was the first time this millennium that all UNC teams went undefeated in a single weekend. Welcome to the first edition of Sports Extra this semester. I'm Caroline Routh.
And I'm Kyle Lobenhofer. This weekend, on the other hand, is off to the opposite start. But before we get into the rough start, let's talk football. Coming off a close win against Minnesota, UNC hopes to continue its winning ways as the Tar Heels take on UNC Charlotte in the home opener. When in doubt, give the ball to the best running back in the ACC, Omarion Hampton. He has speed, he has agility, he can take a hit, and oh yeah, he can do a flip, which UNC's offense will continue to utilize this weekend. Quarterback Connor Harrell has stepped into his role not so nicely after Max Johnson suffered a leg injury, but hopes to notch another win in front of the home crowd. The defense has already looked much better than in previous seasons, but they still need some work in the red zone.
After the 19-17 victory against Minnesota, 2 Tar Heel football players are ACC Players of the Week. Place kicker Noah Burnett is ACC Specialist of the Week after going 4 for 4 on field goal attempts. Burnett scored 13 of UNC's 19 points, and his 52-yard field goal was the longest by a Tar Heel since 2016. Defensive lineman Javari Ritzie is ACC Defensive Lineman of the Week for his career-high 3 sacks. Ritzie is now tied for 3rd most sacks ever by a Tar Heel. With so many Tar Heels in the spotlight and 1 win under their belts, there's much to be hopeful about this season. Speaking of, our football analyst Bethany Pryor is here in studio with UNC wide receiver J.J. Jones. Bethany, J.J., what do you have for us?
Well, JJ, first of all, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course, and I just want to jump right into the Minnesota game. So you had a great first catch to start off the game in the 3rd play, getting us our first down, but I really want to focus on your play that got us into field goal range and initially won the game for us. So I want to start with the play before, though, because I feel like this really set the play up, the following one up. I want to look at this D-back right here because he goes up and he is covering the containment, which is going to allow Omarion Hampton to go through and get all the yardage that he got. And so what was the game plan during this play?
At this point in time, Max suffered the injury, so we had Connor come in the game. And, Connor, he's a kind of experienced quarterback, but, for our offense, we have, like you said, the #1 running back in the country, I believe, Omarion Hampton. So you got to just feed him the ball. And on this play right here, so we just had a little left outside zone read. The DN came down, which is perfect for the play. Omarion ran up the middle, ran down the sideline, got the first down. So that's what we needed.
And I think that really set up this play right here where the D-end is going to then come up here and cover Omarion because they don't want him to get that again. They don't want him to get that first down again, which is going to allow you to be open here because then the cornerback is going to come up for the containment of the quarterback and the safety falls. You're wide open with only the 2nd safety to cover you. What were you thinking during this play?
Honestly, I was like, hopefully I just catch the ball. But this play right here is a triple option read, so the quarterback's going to read the D-end, and if the D-end crashes down, they'll hand the ball off to Omarion. But this time the D-end stayed out and the corner crashed, so Connor's objective was to read the end, be able to run to the outside and throw a little pop pass to me and make the play for the first down and, eventually win the game, which was great.
Yeah, it was an awesome game to watch, but there was a tough loss with Max Johnson hurting himself. But how do you think that Connor Harrell stepped up to the game, and what are his strengths?
I think the biggest strength for him is his quickness, his speed, and his agility. He's a dual-threat quarterback, and he has some experience, especially with the bowl game last year. But the biggest thing for him is just having that leadership and be able to talk to the whole offense. And I know for the people in the receiver room, the running back room, we all need to just rally around Connor and make sure he has a great game this forward in the season.
Yeah. What are you guys expecting from Charlotte tomorrow?
I know we had a lot of guys who've played at UNC that are now on the Charlotte team, so I know they're going to come in with high effort, high energy. I'm excited to see them here, but at the end of the day, we're here to beat them. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, JJ, for talking to us. We're really excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Back to you, Caroline.
Bethany, JJ, thanks for breaking down the matchup for us. Good luck in Keenan tomorrow, JJ.
The Carolina men's soccer team takes to Dorrance Field for the 4th straight match tonight, looking to extend an unbeaten streak as the Heels host St. John's University. The Tar Heels are looking to stay hot after a Labor Day smackdown on East Tennessee State, with Carolina netting 6 goals in a shutout victory. The offense has been led by star Martin Vician, who has put up multi-goal performances in back-to-back matches, leading the team with 5 goals on the season. Set-piece offense has been a key so far, with 7 of the 10 Carolina goals this season coming off of dead ball plays. The match kicks off tonight at 7:30.
The UNC women's soccer team squared off against familiar foe Duke in their first conference game of the season last night at Koskinen Stadium. The Blue Devils started aggressively on offense, but the Tar Heels countered with a solid defensive performance. However, despite Carolina's intense play on the field, they were unable to send their shots to the back of the net. For example, this powerful strike by UNC freshman midfielder Linda Olmark was just one of the several mistakes in the box the Heels couldn't seem to get a hold on. It was the same story in the second half, and the Tar Heels fell to the Blue Devils after a Duke goal late in the first half, resulting in Carolina's first defeat of the season.
It wasn't a lack of effort, that's for sure, and I feel for the girls because the goal that we gave up, I think we could eliminate, and once you do that on their home field, you're kind of chasing it, and again, it wasn't a lack of effort.
For more about the disappointing showing, let's go to stoppage time with Spencer Haskell. Spencer, what went wrong in Durham?
Caroline, after a strong 6-0 start to the Damon Nahas era, the Heels hit their first bump in the road last night in Durham. Now, why is that? Well, as the final score indicates, Carolina just could not create any offense. They got shut out, and they only registered 6 shots, their lowest total of the season. And when their few opportunities did present themselves, the Heels just failed to capitalize on them. We'll pick it up here in the second half, where Carolina's Avon Alvarez has the ball popped free to her in the box with a clean look on net, but she fails to make good contact, just squandering probably the Heels' best offensive chance in the second half. And that's just one you have to cash in on. Now later on in the dying minutes, Carolina's Bella Sember makes a nice move to the middle, and here she has a teammate wide open streaking down the left wing who can probably play in a dangerous cross into the box. But instead, what does she do? She settles for a low percentage, low danger shot that's an easy save for the goalie, and Carolina's unbeaten streak comes to a close. Now, losing is never fun, but losing to your arch rival stings that much more, and if Carolina is going to get back on track, they'll need to get the offense going again. Kyle?
Spencer, it's clear the offense struggled for the Heels on Thursday night, but how did they fare defensively?
Kyle, I know they gave up a goal, but despite that, I would say they played a solid game on defense. Going into Thursday, Carolina had held all of their opponents to 5 or fewer shots on goal. Last night was no different. Duke had only 4 shots on target, and their 1 goal came from a rather fortunate bounce. So overall, I would say it was a relatively clean game defensively from the Heels.
Fans hope the Heels can keep up the good work on defense and generate a little more work on offense this Sunday when they take on Columbia. Thanks, Spencer. Now, Caroline, what was your take on this tough loss for the Heels?
I mean, you know what? It's a new season for the Heels. They almost have an entirely new roster. They have a new head coach with Damon Nahas at the helm. Honestly, I think they've gotten lucky these past 2 games, and I think last night was the game where their luck just ran out.
The luck certainly did run out, but when you're on a 6-game win streak, it's going to come to a close at some point, and better to lose early in the season than later when it can end your season. But I think this loss might have been a good thing. It was Damon Nahas' first loss as a head coach, Duke's first win on home turf against UNC in program history. That's going to give the UNC team some major motivation to come back even stronger, hopefully get a win on Sunday.
I hope they get it done.
Volleyball takes on Temple and South Carolina this weekend, hoping to continue a winning streak. The volleyball team has had some great matches, starting the season 3-0. The last time we saw volleyball start off like this was 2021, which was also the last time the Heels went to the NCAA tournament. Sophomore setter Zoe Barron had her 3rd career double-double against Charleston on Saturday. Fans hope she'll continue strong on offense and on defense. Making her debut this season, freshman Jackie Taylor came in strong with 7 kills in her first match against Cleveland State. The Tar Heels play Temple tomorrow at 3 p.m.
UNC field hockey is heading to Kentucky this weekend to compete against Penn and Princeton in the ACC Ivy League Conference crossover. As expected, fans are banking on Charlie Bruder to bring the heat this weekend the same way she did against Iowa on Sunday with this beautiful goal in the 3rd quarter. And who better to have not 1 but 2 assists than Riley Heck, who hopes to continue the pattern against the Ivies this weekend. And of course, Katie Dixon is expected to keep the goal safe against Penn and Princeton, as the midfielder most definitely knows how to protect the shooting circle. The Heels will start their weekend against Penn at 1 p.m. this afternoon.
The field hockey team was able to start the season strong in Ann Arbor last weekend for the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Let's take a look at their matchup against Iowa last Sunday to see what the Heels have in store for this weekend at the ACC Ivy League Challenge. Let's go over to our field hockey analyst, Sophia Pedroso, for Shots with Sophia.
Kyle, the Heels couldn't seem to get it right in the first half against the Hawkeyes. Although dominating in the offensive end, leading 14-1 in shots in the first half, they failed to capitalize on the essential penalty corners, missing 7 of their chances. Missed opportunities was a big problem for the Heels. Let's take a look. Here we see Riley Heck off in the corner. Halfway through the first quarter, she's going to attempt to bring some offense, sweeping the ball into the crease, seemingly without much direction, as it flies past the goal, and with it, their chance at taking that early lead. Here, this is a fatal lack of communication. Although Heck had the right idea to send that ball into the crease, it was ultimately a shot in the dark, without a teammate in position to seal the deal. And although she struggled in the first half, Riley Heck did what she does best and brought the energy to help turn things around for the Heels. Let's take a look. Here we see Heck in control of the ball. Despite 4 defenders in her way, Heck keeps her cool and carefully generates the space to send that ball to Bruder, who is lying in wait with a whole lot of green ahead of her. And Bruder doesn't hesitate. Here we'll see Bruder receive that pass with her back to the goalie. She takes her time and pivots, generating the momentum to send that ball straight into the goal. The weekend didn't come easy for the Heels, but as Coach Matson said, the weekend set a great tone, as it showed the resolve to fight and push through those tough moments. Caroline?
Sophia, we heard a lot about our offense, but tell me what you want to see from our defense this weekend.
In the Michigan game, the Heels defense helped goalkeeper Abigail Taylor keep the cage safe. The Wolverines were only able to get 3 of their 12 shots to be on goal. They need to bring that same energy this weekend to keep their record unscathed.
On both ends of the field, we'll be excited to see how the Heels fare against the Ivies. Thanks, Sophia. From the Bell Tower to the Eiffel Tower, UNC Hussman has reporters across the globe. Megan Patton introduces us to the international side of UNC opportunities.
Carolina prides itself on providing international opportunities for its students. Maya Wade was one of 25 lucky students chosen to represent both UNC and North Carolina by reporting from the 2024 Paris Olympics.
I found out about the Olympics opportunity last January and applied right away when the application opened. It was a really quick turnaround, but I just found out via social media and newsletter, and I was really excited when I heard that it was going to happen.
Co-president of UNC's women's club volleyball team, Wade was provided the opportunity to report at the Olympic Games, meet NCAA volleyball champions, and watch her favorite sport in the most spectacular arena of the Games.
Obviously, that venue right in front of the Eiffel Tower is just amazing, but the energy in the arena and everyone, either they knew volleyball or they didn't, was just really excited to be there, and I was able to go with some friends, so that was definitely a highlight of my trip, just being able to be there and watch a sport that I love so much.
Volleyball was not the only thrilling part of the games. The behind-the-scenes experience provided Wade with an opportunity not many people get to have.
Being at the Paris Media Center and the main press center every day gave me a really unique opportunity to network with other journalists and learn what they were doing, and also learn from my other colleagues that went with UNC.
Wade not only was establishing career connections throughout her trip, but she was growing her leadership opportunities to propel the women's club volleyball team to another successful year.
Sometimes things are out of your control and you have to be able to adjust and to go with the flow, especially when you're abroad and you're learning a whole new culture and a new language and navigating a new city. So I feel like I grew in that since the summer, so I hope to kind of implement that same mindset of it's not always going to work out the exact way you planned, but it's still going to be okay.
I'm Megan Patton, reporting.
Kyle, we were both in Paris along with Maya this summer, and we got to see some pretty cool moments. But what was the coolest thing that you experienced at the Olympics?
You know, I've been asked that question multiple times since I got back from Paris, and I still don't have a definitive answer yet. I think it changes every single time I get asked the question. So right now, it's going to be Leon Marchand's 4 Olympic record swims. Marchand, the machine, they called him. The French crowd was just absolutely electric for those swims, and you can't beat it. But how about you?
You know what, that sounds pretty amazing, but I'm going to kick it over to soccer and say that talking to our women's soccer team, the United States team, we got to hear from head coach Emma Hayes. She discussed how their team loved to do some karaoke to bring the energy up before the gold medal match, and of course, talking to UNC alum Crystal Dunn right before she became a gold medalist. I mean, what gets better than that?
Those are just some highlights from an absolutely action-packed 2 weeks of the Olympics. But speaking of karaoke, let's hope we'll be singing Carolina's praises after this weekend.
That does it for this edition of Sports Extra. Tune in on Monday for a recap of another exciting weekend in Carolina athletics.